Hi everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm here to teach you some IELTS speaking, focusing on part 3 today. And I am broadcasting this lesson to you live from beautiful Budapest, the capital city of Hungary, Central Europe. All right. So, as usual, materials, they come from our websites where you can find lots of materials to help you improve your band scores. For general IELTS, check us out at IELTShelp.com. That's general-IELTShelp.com. And for academic IELTS, please visit us at AEHelp.com, where, of course, the reading and writing sections are for the academic IELTS. Hi, Sarah. First one in class. Hi, Nair. Hi, Hussein. Hi, Kyber. Hi, Tony. Hi, Assad. Good to see students joining in. The websites look like this. This is for general IELTS. Green background. You can click this green button here to try it for free. And provided you like it, you like what you see, click that big red button. Join now and use the full course to maximize your IELTS potential. For academic IELTS, very similar in appearance, just a blue background. Again, click that red button. All right, students. So today, again, as I said, it is speaking part 3. If you have questions about our products or about IELTS, you can always send me an email, adrian@gieltshelp.com, GIELTSHELP. Here is our schedule. Tomorrow we will do some general reading. Of course, in these live classes, we do focus a lot on the general IELTS. Then on Saturday, task 2, causes and solutions. Okay, students, let's start with some speaking. Let's get warmed up. Hi, Marina. Good to see you on our general IELTS channel as well. Thank you for the emoji heart eyes. All right. So, students, this is an original question sheet here. In the IELTS speaking, you go into the room with the examiner. They will record your speaking. You have about 10 to 12 minutes to prove your English level. Remember, you're not there to chit-chat with a friend. You're not there to be embarrassed. You're not there to be shy. You're there to show another person that, hey, I know English and I can use it to verbally communicate with you and other people. All right, so be confident, be focused, answer in full sentences. And the examiner will welcome you. They will probably have, they should have, kind of a neutral facial expression. They might smile a little bit, but you should know that the examiners are instructed to be impartial. Okay, the word impartial means without opinion, without emotion. All right, they're not supposed to influence the way you feel. So they shouldn't be like, "Hi, welcome to the speaking section of IELTS. My name is Adrian. Come, have a seat. Let's have a chat." All right, they shouldn't be like that because obviously, other than making you feel a bit weird, you might get too comfortable and say, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, thanks. I'll just kick it here and hang for a while. Let's chat." So no, that's not the way that it's going to go down. They will have a neutral, and they shouldn't have an angry face either. Okay, so they shouldn't be like, "Have a seat. All right, let's speak." But you never know if they had a long day. You're one of the last students. They're getting a bit tired, okay? Your examiners are human as well. So just focus on yourself. All right, they'll ask you to sit down. Make yourself comfortable. And then they'll say, "Please have a seat. May I see your identification or passport?" You will say, "Sure, here it is." Repeat after me, students. So whenever I say, especially important sentences, but you can repeat just about anything that I say, okay? Yeah, Kyber, answering with just one word is a really bad idea. Remember, IELTS speaking, so Kyber has an interesting comment. Kyber says, I've seen that many students just answer with one or two words, like sure, yes, here you go. No, I haven't. Even if that's your speaking style in English is called diction. Okay, everybody has a unique diction. It means your individual style of language. All right. So this is an important note, and Kyber, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I always mean to mention this. So here's a nice piece of vocabulary for everyone. Diction. Okay, diction means the unique style which each individual has in communication. And this isn't just in English. This is in all languages, okay? Different people speak differently. Some people are long-winded. They love going into explanations, painting pictures. As you can probably guess, I'm more or less one of those people. I like to talk. Other people, they like to keep it short and simple. So they'll say, yes, no, I don't like that. But on the IELTS, it doesn't matter. In the IELTS, you have to forget about your unique style and just focus on clear communication, clear and complete communication, okay? So you must speak on IELTS, especially if you have short diction, okay? On IELTS, you must use full sentences, use the question to give answers. Otherwise, the examiner is not able to assess your English knowledge. Okay, so even if you're fluent in English, if you just say, yeah, sure, or no, I don't know if you're fluent in English. I only have 10 minutes. I'm not going to move into your apartment and live with you for 2 weeks to realize that you can actually communicate well. So you have to show me in the 10 minutes, okay? All right. So that should be right from the very beginning, even with this first question. What is your full name? So you shouldn't say John Smith, okay? John Smith is not enough. At least say my full name is John Smith, okay? So don't just say John Smith. All right, students, let's warm up with a couple of these icebreaker questions, and then we'll get into our more challenging part 3 questions, okay? So let's start it off with this one. What is your full name? Give me some nice answers. I know students that watch these classes frequently now have a few different ways to express respectful, clear answers to the question of what is your full name? All right. Think about your listener. So Kyber says, my full name is Kyber and my surname is Momand. So Kyber, you want to say my first name is Kyber or my given name is Kyber and my surname is Momand. Please just call me Kyber, okay? If you want to say Kyber, my full name, then you have to say my full name is Kyber Momand. My surname is Momand. Please just call me Kyber. All right. Nair Sultana says, my full name is Nair Sultana. My family name is Sultana. Please call me Sultana. Okay. Again, Nair also, same thing. Careful. A couple corrections there. Abhishek Dangwal says, my name is Abhishek Dangwal. You can refer to me as just Abhishek. I wouldn't say Abhishek only. I would say just Abhishek. But it's not bad, Abhishek, to say Abhishek only. It's just less natural. Okay? So, a nice polite way to say it is, my full name is John Smith. My surname is Smith, as you will see in my passport, or as you can if they're holding it. please just refer to me as John. Okay. The reason why that's important, students, please just refer to me as John, is because IELTS examiners are trained to ask what they should call you. So if you don't say that, then their next question will be, what should I call you? And then you can say, oh, please just call me John. But you might as well get ahead of that. Hi, Uppy Justwall. You don't Marina, you don't have to say surname. You can say my family name. But yes, because they're asking you for your full name. So if they say, what is your full name? In fact, if you have a middle name, you should say that as well, because they're not only getting to know you, they're also matching your name with your IELTS registration and with your passport. So they're actually using that question for administration purpose also. Okay, so absolutely, Marina, you need to say your surname. Another way to say surname is family name. Okay, all right. And then they'll ask a couple of icebreakers. So they'll say, okay, I will record this for marking purposes. To begin, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. What do you like to do with your friends? Again, students, repeat, not just the answers, but the questions. What do you like to do with your friends? One mistake in studying that many students commit is they focus on answers and they don't focus on questions. It's important to practice questions in English also. All right? Just here, you're very welcome. We do these live classes 13:30 to 14:30, Wednesday to Saturday, Central European Time. So just make sure to tune in. Hushnamo Burhon Huyayeva. In my leisure time, I really like to hang out with my friends because I'm very busy running my company. For instance, last week, we went bowling and it was a lot of fun. Hushnamo, that's great. Okay, it's nice. I like how you put that example in there to back up what you do, and your explanation also made it very visual, and it's proving your lexical resource. So now I know that in your vocabulary you have the noun bowling club, which is great. Okay, so good job, Hushnamo. Nahid says, Nahid's still on the last question. Hello, my last name is Torbati and my first name is Nahid. Please refer to me as Nahid. Good, Nahid, for the first question. Let's get on to this one, students. What do you like to do with your friends? Okay. Now, Hushnamo, the one correction is careful the way that you begin your response. You said, in my leisure time. So I'm not asking you about your leisure time. I'm asking you about what you like to do with your friends. You might work with your friends. Your friends could be your colleague. So you could say, I like to work and run my business with my friends because my friends are also my colleagues. Me and 3 of my best friends in high school started a company, which is very successful today. And we work together Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. In our free time, we go bowling. Okay, so careful, focus on the question. It's asking you about what you like to do with your friends, not your leisure time. Okay, again, repeat as much as you can after me. All right, Abhishek says, I like to play hockey with my friends on the weekends. We are all huge fans of the game. Just this past weekend, we played for 2 hours at our local stadium. Yeah, Abhishek, there's a better way to call the place where you play hockey, and the examiner is listening for that. So instead of stadium's not bad, but what's a better way to say that place? Marina says, I love traveling with my friends. It's fun and comfortable. Okay, Marina, I get the part of fun. It's fun to travel with friends. I'm not sure what you mean by comfortable, so you'd have to explain that for clarity. Okay. Yeah, so here, Marina, I'll take yours and I'll expand on it a little bit, okay? I like to go on road trips with my friends because we always have a blast when we are enjoying new tourist places together. Just last month, we went on a 3-day drive through Italy and had a great time. Okay, that would be good. Sure. Adding to vocabulary, road trip. Road trip means that you and your friends are driving in a car across the country or from place to place. Have a blast when we are enjoying new places together. It's a nice conditional subordinating conjunction. Just last month, we went on a 3-day drive through Italy and had a great time. So there you go. That's a smooth flowing example with just last month. Okay, it's a nice strategy to use the word just and then follow it with a time expression. So remember this when you're giving an example. It's a good way to give an example. All right, so it's quick. The examiner doesn't have time to interrupt you with it, and it adds value to your response. So this is a tip for adding examples. Use just at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, we'll use this later for our part 3 answers as well, so pay attention. Plus a time expression. All right, so keep that in mind. Okay, so we're still on these warm-up questions. Pachu, that's a good example. Just last week, we went to Chitwan Zoo where wild animals are kept. Pachu, just last week, we went to Chitwan Zoo is great, but where wild animals are kept, that's understood. I mean, it's a zoo. You don't need to say that. Say something different, like just last week we went to Chitwan Zoo where we saw a baby elephant that was born last month. Okay, that would be more valuable. All right, but it's good. Students, you're doing a great job. So I'm hypercritical. I'm always analyzing what you write, what you say. I hope that you're also saying what you're writing at home, nice and loud. And I'm hypercritical because I'm pushing you to be better and better and better to get higher and higher and higher band scores, okay? So don't hate me for it. Okay, here we go. There's a good chance the examiner will ask you another kind of icebreaker or warm-up question to make you feel comfortable. So they might follow it up with something like, how about when you're alone? Okay, so remember the first question? What do you like to do with your friends? Repeat after me. I like to go on road trips with my friends because we always have a blast when we are enjoying new tourist places together. Just last month, we went on a 3-day drive through Italy, had a great time. How about when you are alone? So it means, what do you like to do when you are alone? Okay. Thanks, Marina. I was just kidding. Okay. So answer that question. Basically, the question here is, what do you like to do when you're alone? So when you hear this, how about, it means in regard to the last question's controlling idea, which means what do you like? Then here it's, what do you like to do when you are alone? Okay? All right. Thank you, Kyber. Abhi says, in my alone time, Abhi, there's a missing N there. In my alone time, I love listening to music, especially classical songs. Abhi, why? Okay, it's a good answer, but always remember that why question. Okay, so in my alone time, it's a nice expression, by the way, Abhi, in my alone time. I love listening to music, especially classical music like Mozart, because it helps me relax and visualize beautiful thoughts. Okay, that's great. It's a nice answer. Hushnamo says, staying alone is a very good chance for me to read books, which is my favorite hobby. Yesterday evening, I read a historical book, Gladiator, and figured out Rome emperor in the past and learned about past Roman emperors. Okay? Learned about past Roman emperors. It's the correct, clear way to express that. All right? Mohit Kumar says, well, I'm a foodie, so I love to cook when I have time to myself, especially some different cuisines for my family. Just last week, I made some great Mexican food, tacos. All right, good. All right, that's a good answer, Mohit. Just remember, use that question. When I have time to myself. That's another nice way to express that. Okay, so I'll give you that phrase. Okay, that's another nice way to express that. Again, students, repeat this after me so you're coding your brain and you're remembering to use that in the future. Okay, when I have time to myself. All right, so then you have some questions on a general topic. It's just a bit of back and forth Q&A. Maybe 5, maybe 6 questions. All right. There was a interesting question that a student sent me by email just yesterday. They said, I had my speaking exam, and after I answered the question, the examiner repeated the same question. This happened to me twice. Is this because I answered incorrectly? And my answer to this student was most likely yes, okay? So if you hear the examiner repeat the same question after you already answered it, or you think you answered it, it's probably because you didn't actually understand it clearly and you answered a different question, a wrong question, okay? If this happens once or twice, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. You can still get a band 6.5, a band 7, as long as you do a good job with the other questions. Okay, so don't panic. Don't feel bad about it. All right. If that happens, try to paraphrase what you hear. Try to get some sense of clarification. Okay, and really focus on what is the subject or the topic and what is the controlling idea in the question. If you don't get it, if you're like, oh, I just don't get what he's saying, then say, I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood you and I don't understand this question. Let's just go to the next one, okay? Don't waste time giving another wrong answer if you really don't understand it, okay? All right. Okay, students. So then you will have a part 2, and Alpha, Omega, Prexy, Mohit, Pachu, I'm reading with my right eye your comments. They're good, okay? I just don't have time to go into each one of them, so don't give up. I'll get you on the next questions, okay? So then you have part 2, which is your cue card. It's your mini speech. We'll practice that at a different class, I think maybe later this week or next week. And then you go into part 3. Now in part 3, the examiner will say, okay, now we'll ask you some more questions related to the topic of part 2. Okay. So we had a part 2 in our academic or general class last week. I don't remember which one, that focused on an object of importance to you. So an object that is important to you. So these questions follow up from that. So the examiner will say, let's talk about valuable objects. Sure, let's do that. And then here's a question, okay? Certain objects are greatly valued throughout history. Can you think of some? Okay, so answer that question. Don't worry about the second question. Just think about this first one. Certain objects are greatly valued throughout history. Can you think of some? So what are some objects that are highly valued throughout history? Okay, now you should give me maybe 2 objects, okay, because it says objects, plural. But if you only think of one good one, that's all right. You can use it in plural. Of course, a really good step, as soon as you hear that part 3 is something physical, is visualize. Okay? So tip, if you here, and you should use visualization regardless if it's a physical or non-physical topic, but especially if it's physical. Okay? Marina, that's a good answer. Just give me a full sentence. Okay? All right? Abhi, throughout history. Okay, so not just one object, but objects throughout history. Okay, so if you hear that the topic of part 3 is physical, also known as tangible, remember to visualize as you think of answers. Now, I think, Marina, you did that. So Marina said paintings. Because if we close our eyes and we picture, okay, what are objects that we can see in museums, in art galleries, in places, in buildings? Paintings, drawings, okay? Paintings, drawings seems to be very valuable. Pachu says statues and sculptures. If you move around your city or famous buildings, you notice that there are statues and sculptures, okay? That's great, okay? Manzir, smartphones, probably not, all right? Throughout history refers to 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, okay? Pachu, the painting of Mona Lisa, not photo, and it's Mona Lisa, okay? Manzir, that would not work for, I think maybe you misheard me. We're doing part 3 here, and the question is, certain objects are greatly valued throughout history. Can you think of some? All right. Abhishek says places of kings. That's tricky, so stick with something easier. Here, this is not part 2, ladies and gents. This is part 3 for clarity. So imagine we've already done part 2. Okay, just to be clear again, this is part 3. See? We're doing part 3. It's not cue card. All right? So let's go with paintings and statues. Okay. So paintings and statues. Give me a nice full sentence with paintings and statues. Okodua Joachim says, objects such as sculptures and monuments are of great value. They show the rich culture of a particular era. Okodua, that's a nice answer, okay? Now, to make it even more clear, you might want to include a paraphrase of throughout history. So another way to say throughout history, so you show the examiner that you really clearly understood that you're talking about objects that are of value now, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Patricio Lordela says, I think that objects with high value throughout history are coins. I love collecting coins from different countries. Now I have thousands of them, okay? Thousands of money is kind of weird, Patricio. So thousands of them or thousands of coins, okay? Money is not countable. We don't use numbers like that, okay? But it's a great answer, Patricio. Mohit says, yep, historical objects are valuable because they are connected to us with our history, like monuments and forts. That's the follow-up question. Don't answer that one yet. Okay? Grace Cacao says, I believe that countries' flags are unique representations of certain countries. It is also a history which we are still seeing now. It has deep meaning behind it. Therefore, they are of great value throughout the ages. Okay, that would be good, Grace. Just reflect the question, Grace. So reflect the question. Not only paintings, but also statues are regarded as having great value to societies throughout the ages. Because they are representations of people's perceptions in their culture and time. Okay, notice my correlative conjunction with my subordinating conjunction. So repeat after me. Not only paintings, but also statues are regarded as having great value to societies throughout the ages because they are representations of people's perceptions of their culture and time. Okay, so that's a nice high band answer. The artists who create those paintings and statues, it's their perception of their culture and time. All right, so that actually answers the examiner's second question. The examiner here would say, why are these objects so important for society if you don't answer? Okay, if you don't give that in your answer, they will ask this question. If you gave the answer, sometimes they might still ask you, and then you have to repeat. Well, as I mentioned, they show the culture and the history that people lived in during that time. But then give more. So if you answer the question, the second question, then the examiner might ask you something else. What might the examiner ask you? So this is the original question. This is the follow-up question. This is your question. Your question answers both. The examiner, because it's part 3, wants to have a little bit of dialogue, a little bit of back and forth. So what might they ask you? Okay, what kind of a question might they ask you? While you think about that, I'll read a couple more student samples. So Alpha Omega says, I think the Holy Bible has become the most valuable object in the history of mankind because it is considered one of the foundations of Christianity and is widely accepted by many. Alpha Omega, I'm sure that Christians would agree with you, although there are many religions around the world, and I believe Muslims would probably say that it's the Quran, and Hindi might say something else, and Buddhists might say something else again. So yes, just careful with the content. Make it clear. Okay. Kamal Nupain says, obviously historical objects reflect our history or past, and it is important for us to collect them, such as coins and paintings. All right. So the question the examiner might say is, can you expand on this? Okay. Or they might say something like, can you give me an example? All right. So can you expand on this? Or can you give me an example? So here you have to be ready. You don't want to be just stuck. All right. So now you need to give an example, or you need to expand on what you mean by paintings and statues are regarded as having great value to societies. All right. You could say, well, one of the most famous statues in the world is the statue of liberty, which was gifted to the United States by France and is a very strong symbol of freedom and independence okay? During the 19th century, in the 19th century, if you want to make it even more complex. There we go. All right, so that would be a very powerful Band 9 level answer. Okay, so repeat after me from the top, students. I'll go nice and slow, okay? Repeat after me. Certain objects are greatly valued throughout history. Can you think of some? Why are these objects so important for society? Okay, keep repeating. Repeat my intonation, my pronunciation. Not only paintings, but also statues are regarded as having great value to societies throughout the ages because they are representations of people's perceptions of their culture and time. Can you expand on this? Well, one of the most famous statues in the world is the Statue of Liberty, which was gifted to the United States by France in the 19th century and is a very strong symbol of freedom and independence. Okay, so that would work. Okay. So again, remember, there's some back and forth. Okay, students, let's go on to the next question. I can see some great interaction by Hushnamo, Kamal, Pachu. That's excellent. So don't be shy, students. Type your answers into the chat and do your best. Don't just listen to me. I'm probably not the most entertaining topic or subject out there in the world. I'm assuming the latest Marvel or DC comic film would be a little bit more exciting to just watch. So make sure to interact, okay? Use the chat. Don't be shy. Express yourself. Express your opinions. All right? Okay, here we go, students. Next question. What steps are important to take to make sure that valuable objects such as paintings or sculptures are kept safe? Okay, so there's paintings and sculptures in the next question. Now, of course, you don't see the questions, but if you hear that in the next question, then at least you can be confident that you answered the last one correctly. So again, what steps are important to make sure that valuable objects such as paintings or sculptures are kept safe? Okay, answer that question. Thank you, Monish. Okay. Kyber, shyness is not necessarily a result of failure. It can also be a result of innate personality. Some people are shy by nature. And another reason is a lack of knowledge. Kyber can make people shy. Okay, an inability in the situation. For sure. So practicing helps to build confidence. Absolutely. That's why it's important to practice. Okay, so again, what steps are important to take to make sure that valuable objects such as paintings or sculptures are kept safe? If you can't think of an answer right away, that's fine. Just buy yourself some time with an expression. Go, well, that is an interesting and important question. Just give me a moment to think. Okay? And then take 5 seconds, okay? Be comfortable with a 5-second pause. Practice that at home. Okay, practice pausing. Practice thinking at home. So 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. That's a 5-second pause. Okay. Jagnesh says, there are numerous steps which individuals as well as the government should initiate. Firstly, make people aware of the value of the object, so they safeguard it for years and years. Absolutely, Jagnesh. That's a great beginning to an answer. All right. What are some other steps? How can we keep these valuable paintings and sculptures safe? Okay. What can we do? Keep your thoughts simple. You don't have to overcomplicate. Marina says, well, it's important to keep paintings behind glass and control the temperature in the room. Yeah, absolutely, Marina. That's good. That's a good start. Abhi says, public awareness about our history and historical objects. Abhi, never use things, okay? Anytime, Abhi, or any other student, you find yourself using the word things, writing it, or saying it, stop yourself, go back, and replace it with another noun, okay? Abhishek says, by insuring them. Yeah, you keep your investments safe by insuring them. You're not so much the object, perhaps. Grace Cacao says, it is kept in museums to keep the value of the objects. Yeah, so we can keep them in secure buildings, such as museums, that are guarded by people. Absolutely. Okay, good, Grace. It's a good start. Mohit says the government should take certain action to make our historical objects safe. Okay. And then, Mohit, you need to explain what that is. Sure. Okay. So let's continue. One important measure to safeguard the longevity of historical objects is to keep them in secure locations such as museums which employ security guards and control the environment like humidity and temperature. Okay, so there you go. Again, students, my goal here always, as you know, is to push you for new vocabulary, build your lexical resource, and to show you the highest level of responses so you know what your frame of reference is. Remember, Band 9, students, Band 9 is not a native speaker, okay? Not all native speakers talk like this, okay? In fact, many do not. Remember that Band 9 is what's called an expert speaker. Many native speakers, if they sat the IELTS just spontaneously, would score 7.58 on most of the sections, okay? So remember that Band 9 is expert speaker. It's testing for English teachers. It's testing for English professors. It's testing for doctors who practice internationally, lawyers, and so on, all right? So keep that in mind. All right, here we go. Repeat after me. Well, that's an interesting and important question. Just give me a moment to think. One important measure to safeguard the longevity of historical objects is to keep them in secure locations, such as museums, which employ security guards and control the environment like humidity and temperature. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right. Historical artifacts, Alpha, is good. Yeah, absolutely. Alpha is saying is the collocation historical artifacts useful in this case. Absolutely, Alpha Omega. That's very useful. Yeah, definitely. Amrit says the government should take responsibility to keep our historical objects safe in museums. And then Amrit explained why. Because museums control the environment and have security guards as well as other security measures like cameras to make sure people do not steal or damage these objects. Okay? Yes, keep them inside museums. Absolutely, okay? All right, good. So here's the next question, students. What are some common places where valuable objects are kept? Okay. What are some common places where valuable objects are kept? Now, if some of you were in my academic IELTS class yesterday at AcademicEnglishHelp channel, then you should remember an important strategy with this question to increase your band score. Okay, you should remember I said some very important tips in that class, and you can absolutely use it with this question in regard to what we have done so far. Hint, hint. Okay, so answer this question. What are some common places where valuable objects are kept? Why? All right, so I'll give you a moment to think about it. And again, I have a pretty good idea that some of you were in that class yesterday from 15 to 16 o'clock on Academic English Help channel. So you should realize what I'm trying to hint, or what I'm trying to tell you to do in this case. Okay, so answer this question. What are some common places where valuable objects are kept? Why? Okay, show me that you are a band 7 or higher student. Ah, Pachu. Don't tell everybody, just give me the example. No, it's okay, Pachu, tell everybody. But yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about, right? Make connections among your ideas. Yeah, Nagapurti, we covered that in the last question. I'm not sure if you joined late, but we talked about that, and that's what we're talking about now. Nagapurti, museums and great central areas and junction places. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Museums is what makes sense in that sentence, okay? If they're books, Afsana, it could be a library, potentially. But again, make the connection with the previous question. Give me a full sentence answer, of course, right? So as I'm surprised that nobody's thought of another place aside from museums. So aside from museums, which I mentioned previously for the reasons I gave, I suppose many people and institutions like to keep valuables in starts with an S, 4 letters, or starts with a V, 5 letters. Somebody figure that out? Okay. And again, I'm surprised nobody came up with those 2 words. Often students complain that, oh, I can't answer because I don't have enough English, or I don't know. But then they realize that, oh, wait a second, I do know the word that Adrian's thinking about. I just didn't think about it. So many times it's not practicing more vocabulary or learning more vocabulary, but it's simply practicing to use what you already know. How do you do that? By commenting in this live class, by writing it down, okay? By developing your critical thinking, your mind mapping, your visualization skills. And you're proving me right, students, because you're coming up with the right answers. The answer, Abhi Jaswal says it's a vault for the second word. Alpha Mugga says it's safe and vault. And you're absolutely right, okay? Safe or vault. These specially designed storage places keep valuables locked away from theft and in a hermetically sealed environment. Okay, there we go. So again, giving you some more vocabulary to work with, okay? Repeat after me. Again, this is speaking, ladies and gents. Repeat nice and loud. What are some common places where valuable objects are kept? Why? Aside from museums, which I mentioned previously, for the reasons I gave, I suppose many people and institutions like to keep valuables in a safe or vault. These specially designed storage places keep valuables locked away from theft and in a hermetically sealed environment. Hermetically sealed means that it does not allow moisture or air exchange, bacteria and so on to get at these objects, okay? Yagnesh says, museums and historical sites are two places where some valuable objects are found. Due to this, people can know about ancient crafts. All right, Yagnesh, I think the end of the answer is going a little bit off topic, but the beginning is good. Prexi Gian Pello says, guarded buildings like a foundation or gallery to keep ancient exhibits for educational purposes for future generations are common to store valuables. Okay, Prexi, that's a sentence fragment. There's missing elements to make it a complete sentence, and I'm not sure what you mean by foundation. Okay. Hermetically means that it is sealed from bacteria, viruses, mold, fungus, usually airtight, so that it doesn't spoil or it doesn't get damaged. Okay, Afsana? And safes and vaults are often hermetically sealed. It's just a kind of a new high-level vocabulary I thought I'd throw in there for you. All right? Food, Afsana, is often hermetically sealed. All right? Food. If you keep something for a long time, like canned food, like a can of beans. All right, students, so then if you're a high-level candidate in IELTS and you gave these answers quickly in about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you still have time, the examiner might ask even more questions in part 3. Let's talk about collecting objects, and then they'll have some more questions like, repeat again after me. What are some of the most common types of objects that people like to collect? Why do you think people like collecting these objects? Now, one student said earlier that a valuable object are coins, which they collect, and they have lots of them. So here you can make a connection. Well, as I mentioned previously, coins are a common collectible, as are stamps. Okay, so make those connections between ideas. Next question. Some collectibles have extreme financial value. Can you explain the reason for this? Is this a wise use of a person's money? Follow-up question. There's a saying that one man's garbage is another man's treasure. Can you explain what is meant by this? Okay. And Pachu, you're absolutely right. You're reading my mind. These 3 questions are your homework, okay? So I challenge you to use your phone, record your answers on your smartphone, send me the audio file, and I'll let you know what kind of a band score you would get for those answers, and maybe some tips on how you can improve. You can send the answers to my email, which is right here, Adrian@GIELTShelp.com, GIELTShelp.com. Don't be shy, practice. Again, to really learn all of the strategies and tips that will increase your band scores and help you be successful on IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com and AEHelp.com, our websites. They look like this. This is Academic IELTS. Click here, that big red button. Join our full course, our premium course. If you're studying General IELTS, which I guess many of you are on this channel, then look for this green background, gieltshelp.com. Click that red button, okay? Next class is for General IELTS tomorrow, same time, 13:30 to 14:30 Central European Time. Next class we'll do general reading. So reading with sample passage and answers. That will be tomorrow. And sorry, I can see that the time here is incorrect. So the time tomorrow is same as today. It's 13:30, 14:30. I'll switch those times. These times are for our academic IELTS. So just keep that in mind. Okay, for those of you who are learning academic IELTS, see you in the next class, which is in 30 minutes. It's at Academic English Help YouTube channel, where we will be doing listening practice today, a listening exam. So yes, Abhishek, we do upload our live class recordings to our IELTS Help website. We have over 100 hours of video lessons there, both HD and live class recordings. And so we're putting all of the past lessons there. Over the next week, we'll be uploading about 30 new ones as well. So thanks for that question, Abhishek. Okay, everyone. Again, remember to check out our websites. Keep watching, keep practicing. We believe in you. Believe in yourself. You're doing a great job. You've taken an excellent first step by following these live streams. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. Much love to all of you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.